Just your podcast. We'll be conducting a conversation inside the music with Carol Riddick.
Conversations Inside the Music, where we discuss the topics you think about when you're chilling with your fuzzy slippers and your onesie.
Yeah!
Welcome to Conversations Inside the Music with Carol Riddick.
What's the deal? Yours truly, the magnificent DJ Jazzy Joe.
Hi, this is Jill Scott, a.k.a. Jilly de Philadelphia.
Hey, this is Gerald Beasley.
Conversations Inside the Music.
With my dear friend, the amazing Carol Riddick.
So get ready to join in on the conversation and chill with us on another edition of Conversations Inside the Music with Carol Riddick.
Family, hello, and welcome to today's edition of Conversations Inside the Music with yours truly, Carol Riddick. As usual, I am beyond excited to bring you yet another episode, but my guest today is someone with whom I've had the pleasure and privilege of sharing many stages. Affectionately known as the Prince of Sophisticated Soul, I'm talking about none other than the one and only Mr. Will Downing.
I was wondering who you were announcing. I'm like, man, somebody good's coming on the show. I'm like, this is going to be great. I needed the help.
Wait, you must have just cleaned the phone because you it's all bright and shiny and clean and crisp. You're looking all crisp.
Look, crisp. I've been called a lot of things. Crisp, it ain't one of them. It's funny. I was watching Chris Walker. And Chris he's always performing online. But his images look like they're like crystal clear. And finally I called him. I said, Chris, what are you using to make your stuff look so much better than everyone else's? He was like, oh no, it's just an iPad 2 or iPad Pro. That's what it was, iPad Pro. The next week I ran out and I bought one. It's unbelievable how much better it is than a regular iPad.
Okay. So you bougie. You bougie.
Well,
you bougie.
Here's the original, because we had to turn in some sort of performance, and I turned mine in, and like I was looking regular, like everybody else. So I ran to the Apple store. I was like, how much is an iPad Pro? They were like $1,000 or $9. I was like, what? It's it's a computer. It's a this. It's a that. So I figured we were going to be doing this for a long time. So I just went and invested in it, and it's been worth it.
Okay, well, I must say that your investment has paid off, because as you see, that was the first thing I said. I did not ask how you were. I did not ask anything about the family. Yeah, right. I said, okay, you're looking crisp. That was
you're
the
looking
first
mighty
thing.
Crispy. You're looking mighty crispy and clean.
I said.
Boy, looking mean, crispy and clean.
Well, I mean, listen, you just did a commercial for iPad Pro. So, I mean, hey, I'm loving it. I mean, no one that will hear this will they won't know what it looks like.
Right.
Yeah, they won't know what but they know that if they need to look clean, crisp, and vibrant, go and purchase an iPad Pro. But I'm happy to have you. I'm happy you decided to stop on by and chit chat with me for a moment.
Listen, it is my pleasure. You are famous around my house. My wife did not know that you spoke so eloquently. So every time she would say something, I would start laughing. I say, hey, Orge, what are you over there making? I'm making a sandwich. And I would say, oh, you're making a sandwich? Why do you say it like that? I said, that's the way Carol Riddick says sandwich. Everybody else says, and no D. We all say sandwich. SANWICH. Sandwich. I said, Carol Riddick pronounces every syllable. I'm going to make a sandwich.
So that's terrible.
Every word that comes out of one of our faces, we like over enunciate now. We call out to them in honor of Carol Riddick.
Well, thank you for that. And you know what? I'm going to have to call Audrey and say thank you to her as well for that bit of humor. So many of my friends, they say, Carol, say this. Like one friend of mine, he always says, Carol, go ahead. Say banana. And then it's like, because I say banana. me tell you something. Trust me when I tell you, no one that I know talks like I do. So I don't know.
Okay, so now I'm going to reverse the interview. Where did this come from?
Only because I know you. I'm going to oblige you in this moment because I knew
Thank
you wouldn't
you.
want to talk about you, but okay.
This
But I'm sure
indulge
other
me.
people have this question. The real answer is I have no idea from where it comes. But
From
I will
where?
say this, from where? I will say this, my mother loved the English language.
Okay.
And Thursday was our reading day. Stop, don't you, you're going to stop.
You
See,
just did it again. Everybody else says reading. You go, reading day. I said, what are you making for dinner? I'm gonna make some vegetables. You probably say, I'm going to have
No,
some
they're vegetables. You know I say
Oh my
vegetables.
God. Oh,
Vegetables. You know I do.
that's-
I got tripped up the other day. I was talking to some of my girlfriends and my cousin, and I said something, and my girlfriend said, "Say what now? What did you? What did you say? What did you just say?" So often, and people say, "You don't really talk like that, do you? You don't really."
Yes, she does. For everyone listening, yes, she does. I love it. It's giving me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of entertainment. All I can tell everyone that's listening is that we got a half a step closer. We do know that Thursdays were her reading days, and her mother was infatuated with the English language. So
Yes.
that's the first step in the 12-step program to you.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, no one wants that.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
now
right,
that
so
we've gotten that out of the way.
there we go.
Okay, I want to talk about your new project, but I want to know before we get into that, what have you been doing during the pandemic? What have you been into? What have you been up to outside of recording a project, sir?
Listen, I have been doing everything that I've been lying to myself about, and everyone else, for the last, X amount of years. I would do it. I just don't have time to. We're going on the road this weekend. I'm gonna get to that, and I've been doing everything. You name it. I've been like, yeah. Remember that light you said you're gonna fix? I was like, I have nothing. I got nothing. So I fixed the light. So that room I said I was gonna clean out, that closet, it's like, yep, I cleaned the closet. This has been eye-opening and awakening in so many different ways. And to the point where you realize, like, this is my skill set. I don't know anything else other than music. Like, I always make a joke. I was like, yeah, my little 5th grade education, has gotten me pretty far. And now I'm like, my 5th grade education has failed me once again. Lord have mercy. This is all I know. It's sad.
Oh my goodness. You know what? There are so many of us creatives who have said the same thing. Like, wait a minute, I really thought I was doing something prior to the pandemic, but now
nope.
It's been such a humbling experience.
It has been the most humbling experience ever. And if you didn't think that you didn't know anything, that you weren't really much in the world lets you know, because they go, okay, listen, we're giving out the vaccine now. And guess who's at the bottom of the list? Guess who is the bottom of the iced tea barrel that no one wants?
We are not as essential as we thought.
We are not as essential as we thought. We literally are. No, we're not even in the conversation. Everyone else is in the conversation. We're not even thought it. And like, do we need entertainers? It's like, you know what? Let's deal with.
We're in the good luck with that barrel. We're in that barrel.
Listen.
Yeah.
By the time they get to us, they will be mixing Moderna and Johnson and Johnson and
Pfizer
and Pfizer. And what kind of water am I drinking here? Glacier water. And we are going to be the potluck of the vaccine. They're like, well, what we got left? Like, give it to them. The last one's left.
As much as we're laughing about it, it really is a reality. It is so crazy. I've talked with so many people about the vaccine, And more of us don't want it than not, which actually goes along with the fact that we can't get it anyway. But,
Right.
but more of
Exactly.
us-
Well, I'm glad you don't want it because we ran out.
none
Yeah,
for you.
You're right. For you, none for you. Yeah, we vaccinated the dog catchers of the world, and hell, we ran out. So by the time
Maybe
we got to
next
entertainers,
time. Yeah,
maybe next time. Yeah. If you make it, we'll vote on it.
Talking about the election.
Oh Lord.
Well, yeah. Oh, Lord is right. People always say, well, you never really know a person until, and there's that ellipsis after that, because there are different scenarios that, apply. Well, this was one of those scenarios, the voting and discovering who people really are.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
When I tell you, I believe we are all going to be a changed individual if and when we come out on the other side of this.
And we will, but yeah, we will all be different, because it's funny when you're talking with someone and you kind of assume that they are on your side and kind of share your thought process in regards to politics or whatever it might be, and then in return you gotta go, yeah, that Agent Orange boy, he's a real piece of work. And they kind of go, yeah, but I can see, and just you hear that, and then you kind of go, what? like what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What did you just say? Like, oh yeah, but I see his point of view. I kind of get it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I think communication has to cease with you. And yeah, this has been, I would say nice, but yeah, this has been eye-opening. And
yeah,
God bless you. And, don't call me no more.
How about that? It makes you rethink a lot of things. I'll tell you another thing. I don't even know what these groups are, but I'm going to say millennials for lack of another way of describing. I applaud and appreciate, who they are and how they're walking in their own. And they're like, look, I don't like this. I don't like that. I am this. I am that. And they're taking a stand. I so appreciate that. But then it makes me ask, what have I been doing?
What about me? What's my contribution? Well, okay, there are two sides to this. All right, my thought process, because I got one of them. Well, no longer in my house, but
really?
Oh yeah, she's moved out. Hallelujah. Praise the Most High. oh my. Yeah, but she's that child. She's that young lady. So on one hand, she thought, like a lot of millennials do, that they're entitled to everything. So I've seen both sides of the rainbow. So on one side of the rainbow, it's like, I'm not gonna work for that. I should give it to me. You know who I am, and I'm this, I'm that, blah, 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 blah. So that's one side. And the other side is the person that you described, who is out there in the street fighting for the rights of all people and doing it. I mean, they ain't there's a lot of talk, but it's followed by action. Like literally, my kids like marching down the street. You've always heard that lie from our parents. Say, yeah, well, I marched with King. and the King family says, of all these people who said they marched with us, they had marched. The attendance would have been far greater than what was really there. But my kid can honestly say, and I can say I've seen it, she was down with the cause. And, she's also put me to task, and, my mother as well, like, hey, I see y'all watching a lot of TV. Like, what are you doing? Like,
I love it.
I mean, and it's an honest question. I couldn't get upset. And, it's true. I was like, yeah, we knew all about it. We're watching TV. Man, look at these young folks. Yeah, y'all go get them. Y'all go get them for us. Go get them. Y'all. One day she turned around and said, yeah, so Dad, I mean, what are you doing? And I was like, Dad can't get around the way he used to. It's like, hey, even when you used to, I don't remember you marching with King.
Oh my, I'm over here
But,
laughing.
yeah, if it was King, it wasn't Martin Luther. That's
It
all I
was-
can say.
Heavens to Murgatroyd. That's hilarious. I can only
So what
imagine
it-
that you and Audrey gave each other a look.
Well, it was more me looking in the mirror. It didn't change your point of view at all. I tell you what, I'll give you a couple of hours so you can take an Uber to the to the march. That's my contribution to you, to the cause. Here's some money for Uber, okay? And let me know when you got home safely, that sort of thing. I'm not much better, but what I did do, I had written a song that kind of spoke to how I felt, and hopefully it was encouraging to folks who were on the fence about getting involved. So, on the latest release, I have a song, Stand Up, and there's a video that goes along with it as well. And it's an encouraging piece to get people to be a little bit more inclusive and to get involved.
Nice. Okay, I was hoping we would get to that. You said, yeah, so I wrote a song. I was about to say, okay, yeah, and I was hoping, no, but I think that's awesome. I really do. Especially she charged you and Audrey as her parents. So that's something you could have easily done as a family. But the conversation that took place, I mean, I think that's great because I don't recall too many conversations. I remember my mother and father were not together when I was growing up, but I remember my mother showing me like old, I shouldn't say old, but Jet and Ebony magazine. They were around, but they were like the old ones. I don't know if you remember the old Ebony.
Just not around anymore. Sorry.
Well, you are a mess. But I remember, Time, Life, like the older magazines, they were large. They were so big. Do you remember that? How big they were? Mm-hmm. And my family, I'm sure like yours did too, had the ones that had all of the historic moments. That's why I said old, because I remember much older ones. Yes, you hear me? Did you hear me? You hear me? You hear me cleaning it up? I remember the much older editions. And that was the history that, my family saved for us. But it was a beautiful thing to see. Absolutely. Of course, when I was younger, that was all we had. That little bit was such a big thing for me. But now, we are walking in a historic moment. We are breathing in another historic moment, another historic. But I'm amazed getting back to these millennials. I'm amazed at, what they're doing, how they're moving, how they're speaking, walking, talking. I mean, quite honestly, I'm ready to bow down to Amanda Gorman. I'm sorry. Gorman. Because I was corrected on that the other day too, Gorman. But sidebar, I have so many things that I wanted to talk with you about. I remember we were working, I think it was in New York. I'm not really sure. You were doing a taping or something. And you were talking about having polymyositis. And this was the very, very, very first time, like you and I have never had a conversation about it, like just you and I. I've always been curious to know. First of all, let me say it was the very first time I heard you talk in depth about it. And you were talking about the day that you and Audrey, you guys had gone to the movies, I think it was the mall or something. And it was like your moment of awareness, like, okay, I have an issue. Something's going on. Something's wrong.
Right.
I don't think I've ever told you how touched I was in that moment when I heard you talk about that day. And how you made the decision to go to the doctor to get checked out. But I'm so curious to know, because I see you as this, as this pillar of strength, this strong man that just, he does. And I think it's a beautiful thing, but I've always been curious to know how, since that day, how you've managed, how you've moved, like how has it affected you in everyday life?
Well, I tell you what, every day, it's almost like I would liken it to like some form of PTSD, because there's not a day that goes by that I'm not reminded that it happened. It is virtually impossible for a day to go by and me not remember what happened, because it affects everything that I do. It affects how my day is mapped out. Like most people can kind of say, well, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and then maybe I might go do this, and I might go do this, and then I'll do this. For me, I literally have to calculate my whole day on being worn out. It's like, well, I can do that. I can do this. And then I'm gonna have to chill for a couple of hours and then we kind of recharge my battery. And then maybe I can do that. And then I gotta stop. And then I gotta eat at this time, or if I go someplace, I literally have to, like, I look at a place in advance if I can to see, okay, is there a lot of stairs there? Because if it's a lot of stairs, I don't know if I can go, so I literally have to take all of that into account. I remember when I first started coming back, I was doing Monique, the Monique show. Monique had a TV show and they called me to do the show. And I remember telling Kyle, the road manager, Kyle Newport, I said, Kyle, I'll do it. I said, but I'm going to have to be on the couch when the show starts, because the way the show normally ran was the doors would open up and then you would walk down these stairs and then you would walk to the couch. And I have to do all of that in advance with everything that I do. I mean, if someone says, hey, we're going to be doing this, I'll walk into a building and I kind of go, okay, there's steps over there, there's steps there, there's a railing over there. Okay, I got to go to that side because I have to have the railing, Okay, even for dressing rooms, when we do shows, if you notice, I'm always on the same floor as the stage. So, and if there isn't one, then we make one. We just get some curtains and we throw it over a rack or we do this, that, and the other. So everything that I do is surrounded by this thing that affected me. So this is every day. Wow. So when I'm working even in my studio in my basement, it's kind of like, okay, you bring 50 things of water, you bring this, that, because I'm not going back up them stairs until later, because them stairs look like Mount Everest. And it's a constant reminder. It's something that you will never forget, ever, because it affects everything that you do.
So is there fatigue or lethargy, or is there pain associated?
It's more fatigue than anything else, and the pain is just general. Just my ass getting old. So that's just the way it is. You should hear us. I'm throwing my wife under the bus too. We wake up in the morning and forget all that trying to be quiet and like I'm done. I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to wake her up. Like as soon as I get up, I'm like and you start walking and you hear a hand hit the wall. Stop, and you hear the feet shuffling. So that's just general kind of like, that old I slept wrong. I was like, yeah, I'm getting old.
Something
like,
about that fifth level, isn't there? Something about that fifth level.
Oh my God. If something fall on the floor, it's like, I can get it. I get it later. Like my dog will get it. Like I dropped a piece of meat. Well, you know what? He should have some meat. The dog should have some meat. Anyway, it's not going to kill him. That's what's happening around here. I took my dog around the block today. And normally he we move at the same pace. And for some reason today, he was feeling good. So he was moving at a nice clip. I made it about 3/4 around the block. And I was like, am I getting lightheaded or do I need to stop for a minute? I'm like, the hell is wrong with me? So that's another thing I haven't been doing since I've been in this pandemic, which is what I don't call it pandemic. That's lightweight. Just a pandemic. Damn it, it's messed everything up. So I've not been doing any exercising. I get up and I go to the bathroom, which is about 10 steps away from me.
When I tell you, I am so disappointed in myself because I thought, oh, this is the most opportune time for me to exercise and work out more because I was doing well. I was doing so well. I've eaten potato chips. I did not buy potato chips prior to the pandemic. I did not. Chips? On top of that, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock rolls around, and I find myself feeling like it's 11. I don't understand. I want that to stop.
Well, okay. Well, I listen. I understand your pain to a point. Like for me, I don't know when to go to bed. Well, actually, I do know when to go to bed, but I just find myself my days are occupied. I just don't know doing what. Like I literally my day starts at like 8:30 every day. 8:30 a.m. I get up and me and my dog Coda, we get up and I get him ready and we go for a quick little, so he can relieve himself and we go for a quick little walk. And then before you know it, it's like 8:30 at night. And I don't know. And I sit there and I go, I didn't do anything. Or at least I know I did something, but I'm like, what did I do today? Like what did I really get accomplished? What did I, and then I make notes for the next day and I go, I gotta do this. And then it's like Groundhog's Day. 8:30 comes around and I'm walking them up the block again. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, what did I do today?
My brain doesn't shut up.
So what I'm gonna try to figure out how they get that bubble in the bologna when you fry it. How does the bubble get there? That's what I want to.
What? I don't eat bologna. I don't eat bologna.
You're a smart woman. I haven't had bologna since I was probably like 10. but that bubble is always plagued my mind. The bubble
is there.
You've never had fried bologna?
Okay, no. Okay, wait a minute, because you took my card from me. You've already taken my card.
I wish people could see my face right now. I'm looking like Stevie Wonder. My eyes and my head are turned behind me, but I'm talking to someone in front of me. I'm looking down. Carol, you've never had a fried bologna sandwich?
I've never had that.
Oh,
but there's a reason for that. There is a reason.
Well, there's probably a couple of reasons. One is because you're probably smarter than everyone else. I'm telling you this, it has no nutritional value at all. Damn it, it's just good. Okay. Well, as my memory serves me, oh yeah. So, okay. Well, now you probably have it on YouTube. I mean, someone making a fried bologna. But yeah, you get the bologna and you put it in a pan with some butter. And then the middle of the bologna would rise up. It was like, yeah. So the ends all the way around would sit in the pan and the middle always bubbled up. It would bubble. And it looked like the St. Louis Arch. And if you made two, it looked like McDonald's, I guess.
What do you put on a fried bologna sandwich?
You can put anything on it. I mean, you could put an egg on it. You can make it put into a grilled cheese. You can make a fried. Yeah, I mean, it's anything.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay.
That was like, when we were kids, that was like a staple in the crib. I mean, you come home and be Spam, or they used to be called the devil's ham. Have that, or
were they two different things? Was that the same thing? Was the devil's ham? That was what is the devil's ham?
Devil's ham. I mean, basically, it's the same sort of meal, but it was two companies that made. One was called the devil's ham, and it came in a beige package with burgundy or red writing on it. And Spam has always been in the blue, the blue can. Yeah, and it's just scraps, scraps of what no one else would eat. They just put it all together and they sold it. That's what hot dogs are. Hot dogs are like the scraps that they put into a casing. It's garbage, basically.
Right. Right.
But,
no, you're right. Yeah, I can't say that in my my good and grown adult life I have any desire to have a fried bologna sandwich. But
when you finish this interview, listen, when this interview is over, I can assure you that you're probably going to go on YouTube and punch in fried bologna sandwich, and I'm sure that some strange person on the planet has filmed themselves making a fried bologna sandwich. And it is an experience that you have to have. It is, like I said, it has no nutritional value at all, but it will fill you up. And you could be rest assured that you'll be giving it back to the city very cool. Okay. So it's like a White Castle's hamburger. It is amazing.
Wow.
Nothing
Wow.
nothing on the planet. Nothing has ever felt better than a White Castle's hamburger in your mouth, and plenty of them for a small fee. There is nothing more painful than a White Castle's hamburger coming out of you
When you're returning it,
when you're
I
giving it back to
overstand.
the city.
I
Yes.
love the pun though. Nothing has ever felt. I love the
Nothing has
pun.
ever felt.
I love that pun. I must say, this has been the highlight of my day thus far, talking about fried bologna and its return to creation.
And it's returned to whatever it
Yes.
was.
Yes, yes,
Ashes to
yes.
ashes, dust to dust, bologna to bologna.
Well, that's awesome.
From the Book of Will.
I wanted it from the Book of Will. Yeah, you know one thing. People always ask me. They've always said, "Well, what's he like? What's he like?" And I say,
If only you knew.
If only you knew. That's the typical response from me.
Boy ain't right in the head.
Listen, you need something to get you through the day.
Right. He said, "What'd you do today?" I laughed.
I laughed.
Without a doubt.
It could be
I had a
worse.
good laugh. It could be worse. Absolutely.
I want to shift gears for a moment. I want
Sure.
to talk to you about one of it. Now, this is the only hobby of which I'm aware that you have, and that's photography. So we have that in common. But actually, I have a question,
Sure.
and then I want to share something with you that I've always been embarrassed to share with you. But I would like to know, when did this hobby of yours start with photography?
My taking up the picking up the camera started in 1990.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I think 1990. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the that people can't see this is but I'm looking at the wall, my wall of fame and shame. 1990, yeah, like between 90 and 93, somewhere around there. And I was doing a photo shoot with a photographer, a woman named Carol Friedman, who had shot, 2 or 3 of my album covers. And I'd gotten so comfortable with her. We're talking about the days of film. So this is not digital where you could shoot it and then look at it right then and there and kind of, oh yeah, okay, let me adjust this. So we had Polaroids, So she was shooting these Polaroids, and she took this Polaroid, she showed it to me, and she goes, "Oh, this is so beautiful. I think this is going to be great." And I'd become so comfortable with it because we had shot so many covers together. I was like, "Yeah, it's cool." I said, "I think the lighting could be a little bit here. And, I think like the shading on my face is this, and, the background." And she just kind of looked at me like, I ain't asked for all that. And, the next time you want your album shot, why don't you do it your damn self? If that's where we're going with it. So I I sat down, I shut up, I smiled real nice for the camera, I did all the stuff that she needed. And then that following weekend, I say, because I thought about it, I was like boiling inside. I'm like, talking to me like that. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking. Your job ain't that hard. I can shoot a picture. Anybody can shoot a damn picture. And I went out and I bought a camera and I bought as much film as I could buy. I had rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls of 35 millimeter film. And I put it in my camera and I was shooting, taking pictures of everything, and everybody in my family, it was sick of me. I was like, "Yeah, they stand there, click. And there's a rose over there, click, there's a flower, click. Oh, look, rain is falling, click. That building looks fascinating, click." And I took all these pictures and I turned them in, and and I got the pictures back, and they were terrible. They were unbelievably bad, all of them. So it got me into, okay, you know what? Let me really start reading. Let me go possibly take a couple of lessons from someone who knows what the hell they're doing and learn a little bit more about lighting. And I got into it. I got into it big time, big time, big time.
Yeah, you have a coffee table book. Of course you do.
Yeah, I jumped in with both feet. You know, I've got tons and tons and tons and tons of equipment around here that I don't use anymore because no one shoots film as much as, well, not to say no one, but people don't shoot film as much as they used to, and I'm included in that bunch as well. Everything is digital. So yeah, that was my first foray into shooting, and I haven't put the camera down since. It's an outlet for me, you know. So fortunately, the camera has probably saved a lot of lives, because there's a whole bunch of folks I would choke the daylights out of unless I had something to do to take my mind off of the craziness that I deal with on a daily basis. So yeah.
I overstand. Let me say that. I overstand. Yes. So wait, so from whom did you take lessons? You said you took lessons from whom or with whom?
Yeah, there was a guy in, lived in Jersey for the last, I can't count the amount of years, but there was a place that I used to take my daughter. There was a dance school I used to take her to. And while she was doing dance, there was a photography shop, a camera shop. And it was also a photography studio. So I would go in there every Saturday while my daughter was taking these 2-hour lessons, and I would sit with this guy. His name was Carl. And at first I started going in there, and, it was just like small talk. And then he would see me every weekend, and he was like, so what do you do? And I'd start telling him, hey, I do music. And he became fascinated with what I was doing. And he said, well, obviously you're fascinated with photography. What do you want of this? What do you want of that? And I started asking questions. And he was like, okay, well, come on, let me take you in the back. Come on, sit down here. He had a backyard, and he would start showing me stuff about lighting and about f-stops and about, depth of field and this and that. And so I was like, great. And then I started shooting more on my own. I started getting better. I would bring him the stuff. He would look at it. I started going during the week now, and I would show him stuff, and he was like, yeah, that's cool. But let me take you in the back. Let me show you this. And yeah, I mean, that was like without me paying for going to classes and schools. I started working with this dude, Carl. I'd be there two or 3 days a week.
That was valuable.
Going in. Oh, very valuable. And listen, he did okay. He ended up selling me everything under the sun. He was like, yeah, you need this. I know it was all jive sometimes. This camera, this one right here. And I was like, great. How much is it? Oh, it's normally a $1,200 camera. I'll give it to you give me $1,000. But I need this camera. Man, let me tell you something. Okay, great, Carl. And I'd get the camera. And remember that camera I sold you? I was out and I found this. This is a rare lens. You need this lens for that camera. And I normally only charge. I was like, but it's going to do this to my pictures, Carl. Yes. Yeah, and how much is it? Yeah, I was like, the little man on the American Express card who wears the hat, he was taking the hat off and sweating, wiping his brow off. Like, oh, he's using me again? Oh my God. Oh, damn. You see the sweat rolling down his face.
Oh my goodness. I know Audrey was looking at you too. Audrey was probably saying, oh wait, what?
I don't think she had a clue how much that stuff costs. I mean, but I was like, yeah, the kids are coming this weekend. What are they gonna have? Bologna sandwiches? Really? It's good for them. So I didn't realize that's all I could afford at that point, because I had to have that light. I had to get that. I had to get that camera. I had to get that lens. You don't understand.
Oh, that is hilarious. But then, it's so funny. I'm sure we can all relate and identify with that. Something that can feel like, no, but I have to have it. I have to have it. I have to have it.
And nothing has changed with this pandemic. I have more equipment in this little room I'm sitting in right now. I've got 3 ring lights. I've got a green screen. I've got 4 microphones. I've got 4 computers sitting right here. So yeah, it's the same thing. Every time I see something like that, I'm like, man, how do you get that so? Why does it sound like, well, if you had the F7932, man, makes that F7931 look like nothing. How much is it? Well, it's $1,000.
Or if you've had that iPad Pro, like we
that iPad Pro, yeah. It'll make you look crispy and clean.
Yes. Well, it does make you look crispy and clean. You look crisp.
Well, yeah,
Not
for those who
crispy, but you look crisp.
I look
Yes.
crisp. Sorry, I
Yes,
said
you look
crispy.
crisp. So I made the comment to Will. I said, what device do you have, or what program, or what have you? What do you have? Because your video looks amazing. It looks awesome. He said, this is my iPad Pro. I told him he had officially done a commercial for iPad Pro because I now want an iPad Pro. Okay.
See, there you go.
Okay, I want
go-
an iPad Pro.
Listen, go find Carl. He'll sell you an iPad Pro and a
I bet he will. I bet he will.
and some old cameras that you don't need, but he's gonna make you believe. Give me all that money. I take these 3 beans. These
And-
3
and-
magic beans.
And then I'll wind up trying fried bologna because I will have bought
Then
this. Because that will be all I can afford to eat, okay? In a pandemic.
Carol, what's wrong with your skin? I started eating that fried bologna. Look what
Thank
it's done
you.
to me, but it tastes so damn good.
Listening to you. So wait, I want to ask you if there's any truth to this, and if so, how much truth there is to this. I read that you were the spokesperson for the American Stroke Association.
Well, I mean, I don't hold that title exclusively, but yeah, I mean, I am one. Years ago, the American Heart Association decided to kind of have like a real campaign to raise awareness in the Black community in regards to heart health. And they had all these celebrities and recording artists and people of the like to do these PSAs. And so I got the telephone call to read this PSA, and I went in there and I read it, and they, oh, great. And I said, well, hey man, so what are you guys doing? And they kind of looked at me like, yeah, we're just doing these PSAs. See, they didn't know that my grandmother had a massive stroke when I was young. I mean, massive. There's a woman that was very vibrant and got around, and then we used to go visit her every summer in the Carolinas, in North Carolina. And we went down one summer, and my parents didn't tell us, before we got there, but she was basically bedridden, couldn't speak anymore. She had a massive stroke. So that affected me. So when they asked me to read this PSA, I'm kind of like, well, I can do more than read a PSA. I can, we want to get involved. We really want to make a difference. So I started doing these, it was called Strike Against Stroke. Before I had gotten sick, I was like a bowler. I mean, I used to bowl, like for real bowl. I was into that as much as I was into photography. So I would, that was my outlet. I'd be in a bowling alley, 4 times a week, bowling. So we decided to do these events, and we called it Strike Against Stroke, hence the bowling aspect of it. And the American Heart Association would come to all these events, and they would do screenings and hand out pamphlets and that sort of thing. And we would normally do it with like the local radio station and get people to come out, and they would have a good time and also kind of raise their awareness in heart health at the same time. So Strike Against Stroke, me, American Heart Association. So that's my connection.
You see that? Of all the things, see that? I had no idea. But I'll tell you this, you mentioning bowling brings me back to...
Is you bowling? Gigi! Gigi!
For those of you who are unaware, my nickname from the one and only, my beloved, Deanna Williams, is Gigi. She calls me Gigi because I am a gadget girl. Yes, I love gadgets. I am a huge nerd and a tech person. And she
I didn't know
knows
that's where it came from.
Yes, I'm her Geek Squad.
I did not know that. I thought it
Yes.
was just something that she just made up because it started calling you Gigi. I'm like,
She calls me
this is a
Gigi.
thing.
She Gigi. I am Gigi because I'm a gadget girl. When Didi has
Wow.
an issue with anything electronic, she calls me. So I've installed her printer. I've gone to look at her Wi-Fi. I've got there's everything and all of her devices. So that's
now
I'm
I
Gigi.
know.
Yes,
There
I
you
am
go. Got
Gigi. But-
Gadget girl.
yes, I'm a nerd. Everyone
I
who
got
knows
it
me
now.
knows that I'm a nerd. You've seen me on the road. I've had all kinds of cables, cords, peripherals, all kinds of, everyone who knows me can attest.
Listen, you have talked me through more stuff. I was like, I call you, Carol, what's this Wi-Fi thing they talking about? Well, first off, it's called Wi-Fi. I'm like, oh, okay. And
But
I
I'm
have my phone, and you look at me, you kind of go, you're the only person I know that uses your phone as a phone. You know this thing can do so much more. And you showed me something. I was like, I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know.
but it gives me pleasure because it's so much fun for me because I love this stuff and I always read again, for anyone who did not pick this up, I am a geek and I do love to read. I do. So I read the instructions, the directions, all of everything. When there's an update, I want to read everything that's going on with the update. I want to know, people always say, well, how did you know how to do that? Well, it give you that information when you
Hey, listen, most of us just kind of push agree.
Yeah.
Do you agree to agree? And in the morning, it'll be there. When your phone, only thing that we all do is just charge our phone up. And in the morning, you'll have an update. We're having waffles.
Oh my goodness. I have a feeling people are going to say, Carol, I learned more about you in this interview than I did Will. And that was not my intent.
You're more interesting than I am.
No. Well, wait. So I want to share this with you. I was telling you, I'd never told you this story before. But it all ties in. You're talking about bowling. I don't know if you remember this day. It was, we were in San Francisco. Yes, because we had gone to Lombard Street, the Crooked Street. So, and it was me, you, and Kyle. And we were stopping by, there was an event, a friend of yours was having an event, I believe, at a bowling alley. At that time, I did not know of your love for bowling. Right.
Yeah.
So we were going there, but we stopped at first at Lombard Street. And I was so excited because I wanted to take pictures. So I said, I've got to get photos. And you and Kyle, dropped me off. And you said, yeah, we'll be right here. We'll be here. We'll wait here. And I was taking all of these photos and I was so happy with my pics. And I come back and I jump into the car and I'm sitting in the back seat. I paid absolutely no attention. It was the same. I don't know. It was whatever it was. It was a Benz or whatever it was. Whatever the car was that we were in. It was the same car. So the same brand. So I paid no attention. I get into this car. I'm sitting in the back and I'm looking at my phone at my photos, and I am so happy and so excited to share with you guys these beautiful pictures I had just taken. And I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness, I can't wait. Where did they go? This is what I'm asking myself. Where did they go? Because I was standing there the whole time. Where did they go? That question came and went in 2 seconds. Where did they go? I went back to admiring my photos. And I look to my right and there's a family staring at me. They're staring at me. My first response, what are they looking at? Why are they looking at me like that? So I'm looking. I said, yes, may I help you? May I help you? That's what I asked them. May I help you? And the gentleman, it was a man, his wife, and one of their parents. It was an older couple. And they were so afraid. They were terrified of me because I was sitting in their car. I asked, may I help you? And he said, yes, please. Yes. Can I help you? Can I help you? He said, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you. That's how I responded. I'm fine. Thank you.
I'm fine. What your problem is?
In that moment, I took a look and I realized that the interior was lighter than the interior had been just moments before. I said, wait. And then I look and there's a cigarette in the tray and I said, I realize I am in the wrong car. I am sitting in this family's car and they are terrified of me and they are afraid to ask me to get out of their car. So I realized this. And then of course I say, oh my gosh, I've got to get out of this car before Will and Kyle get back because they will never let me live this down.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. So I jump out of the car and I never told you guys. I was so embarrassed. And nor did I ever show you the pictures. I never showed you the photos
You're killing me, kid. You're killing me.
Yeah. So although I'm technically inclined, I don't pay attention very much. So
Oh,
yeah.
oh my God.
Mhm.
Oh. Now, did you take pictures with the family to kind of like just to like y'all ain't gonna believe this. Here I
No,
am.
they were terrified of me. I was
It's
sitting
like-
in their car in the back. I was strapped in. I was looking at my phone. I was indignant because the man asked me, "Can I help you?" And I said, "No, but may I help you? How may I help you?" No, there were no photos. These people were glad to be rid of me.
Oh my God. Listen, they probably talk about you to this day.
I'm sure they did. This black girl, she got in our car and she wouldn't get out. She wouldn't get out.
Right. That's why I voted for Trump. See, they think they're entitled. You
Oh
know,
my God.
listen.
They were terrified of me. And I was so embarrassed to tell you guys because I could not believe I was so busy looking. I could not believe I had done that.
Wait till I tell Kyle this. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Oh, we gonna have you messing my throat up as you messing up my throat. Shoot, I was supposed to do some singing later. I was messing up my throat, making me laugh like this.
No, I said I would never tell you. I said I would never tell them. I am never going to tell him or Kyle because I've always been so embarrassed. But you know what? We've just lived through worse. 2020 itself was enough,
Yes,
so I
we have.
can now
Thank you.
share that story with you.
Listen, you're not alone. I didn't do it. My daughter did it one time, and I was so pissed. I was so mad. I was like, "Does your phone? Are you that obsessed with your phone that you didn't even look where you were going?" And da da da. And of course, I went to like the extreme. You know, of course, I went to Taken Part 5. You know, Taken 5 with Liam Neeson. I'm like, you could have been taken. You like, what's wrong with you? Are you stupid? You know, don't you see the difference? I have red interior. They have burgundy. You couldn't see the difference.
Let me tell you something. In that moment, all I saw was the emblem because I glanced up for a moment. I was so excited to share with you guys. All I saw was the emblem. So you probably would have done this. Like, Carol, I am so not you, Carol, not you. You cross every T and dot every I, not you. Yeah, me. Yeah, I sure did.
Oh my God.
I sure did. I sure did. Listen.
He's like, can I help? Excuse me, ma'am, can we help you? Help me. Can I help you?
I sure did. I sure did. And I was so embarrassed because I was so indignant. I was so indignant with these people.
I knew
No,
I was
I'm
right.
fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine, thank
fine.
you. I am fine, thank you. How may I help you? So listen.
He said, well, maybe you can move over or maybe get out of our car.
So listen. Oh my goodness. I want to remind everybody because I feel like I've kept you. So I'm going to let you go. But before I do, I want to say thank you so much for just, stopping on by, having a conversation with me. And I want to remind everyone that you have a new project called The Song Garden. Okay.
Ooh.
Let me ask you this. How many albums is this before we jump?
This is number 24. This is my 24th record. Yeah.
You better get it. You better get it.
Listen, that's what happens when you have way too much free time. It's work. And as I alluded to earlier, like you come to the realization that this is all you know how to do. That's what people say. Well, when are you gonna stop? I'm like, I'm not good looking and smart like you. It's not like I'm gonna be an attorney tomorrow. I'm gonna be your doctor. I'm like, it's kind of what I do. This is what I've been doing for the last 33 years. I don't know how to do anything else. So I've kind of like, I've thrown out the rule book many years ago. I threw the rule book out many years ago in regards to artists and recording. It used to be where you would record a record and then you'd wait, 3, 4, 5 years before you put out another one. And of course, the record company would tell you, you got to go away so they could miss you. You don't want to oversaturate the market. And, so you've done this record. We're going to work this record for this long. And then you get started another one. So yeah, you won't have another record out for another 3 or 4 years or 5 maybe. and the world changed. Digital came along, the internet came along, and the world changed. And all the thinking of the process of making records that we used to follow back in the day, they no longer exist. There's no such thing as oversaturation of your brand. It's virtually impossible now.
So true.
So you could put a record out a month. You could put a song out a month, and people are still gonna, 2 weeks after you put that one out, they're gonna go, when's the next one coming? And when's the next one coming? And what you got there? What you got out now? Oh, I got that one. When's the next one coming? It's like you can't have enough. So I'm just gonna do this, what's the old saying that, we ain't gonna stop till the casket drops. So we just gonna keep doing what we do.
Why that one? Why couldn't we get, I'm going to do this until the wheels
Till
fall
the wheels fall
Yes.
off. Yeah,
Yeah,
because everyone says that one. I have slightly ghetto tendencies. We ain't gonna stop till the casket drop. All right.
We just call that color. That's colorful. You're just colorful. That's all. You're animated and colorful.
Okay,
You are.
colorful. Yeah, great. Let's run with colorful.
But you're so right about that. And no, I overstand that as well. I congratulate you on number 24.
Thank you.
The title is The Song Garden. And as you did make us aware, the single now is Stand.
Stand up. Yeah.
Stand up,
Get
stand
involved.
up,
Absolutely.
stand up.
Stand up. Stand up.
All right. Well, give my love to everybody, please. And please don't give Coda any more popcorn.
That's not gonna happen.
Okay.
My man, Code Dizzle. Hey, listen. He is a family member. I eat, he eat just like that. I eat, you eat just like that. If I move, you move. Yeah, if I'm having popcorn, homie having popcorn. I'm having chicken, my man having some of that barnyard pimp right along with me.
Everybody, I'm petitioning to save Coda because he gives Coda kettle corn. So
Listen,
poor Coda.
and he-
Poor Coda.
And he's still here. He's still here. I'm still standing. Yeah. That's his thing.
Audrey, my love. Give Audrey my love. So please,
I would definitely do
please.
that. Thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate that.
so. Thank you, Will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Family, that wraps up another edition of Conversations Inside the Music with yours truly, Carol Riddick. As always, thank you so much for joining the conversations. If you like what you heard, please tell a friend and be sure to check out prior interviews on any media stream where you typically listen to your podcasts. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified when new episodes are available. And follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Conversations Inside the Music and on Twitter at Chat and Chill. Whatever you do, be good to you and to those around you. And remember, to whom much is given, much is required. Catch you next time on another edition of Conversations Inside the Music with Carol Riddick.
Conversations Inside the Music with Carol Riddick.